Chapter 3. The Morning of the Perfect Day. So, as I've mentioned, I'm a northerner with a broad Lancashire accent. I had a paper round when I was 11 years old, and after that I worked on a shoe store in a small dirty market and got paid all of £12 for a 10-hour day. I was brought up in a northern pub, in a northern village, with my northern parents. I was true northern. So how had I ended up living on a small Italian island in my mid-30s without a northern lad by my side to hold my hand? 3 years previous, I woke up at 7 a.m. with a feeling of dread, fear, and confusion. It was the morning of every young girl's dream. The morning when only the feelings of joy and excitement should be felt. The morning of my wedding day. Yet, I wasn't feeling the excitement and wonder of things to come. I had butterflies for sure and the sick feeling that goes with it, but they were feelings of, what if he goes bald? What if he gets fat? What if he takes up stamp collecting? What if, running through my head. What if? And this is a big what if he's not the one? I know it was a bit too late to be thinking these things, but from the day I'd said yes, I had had the feeling of dread. Not so strong, more like the feeling you get when you've been to a public toilet and you realise there's no toilet roll. So you're going to have to shake those lettuce leaves and hope you don't spill a drop on your new expensive lacy knickers. Not a big dread, but it was there, building and simmering slowly away. And now had arrived the day I had to say I do, the day I had to promise to look after, in sickness and in health, the day I had to smile and look like a blushing bride in the big white dress. The dress I had tried on, by the way, and said, I'll bloody take it, can you get me a drink now? Don't get me wrong, I love shopping, I am a woman after all, but the wedding dress shopping I found tiresome and a joke. I could have walked out in a bloody bin liner and the shop assistants would have told me how amazing I looked and that it was the perfect dress for me. With comments like, oh, it does suit your figure. Oh, it's your colour. They're all the same bloody colour to me. Or, only the lucky few suit this style of dress. Bloody big hairy bollocks. Actually, I think they're just bored. I mean, who wants to see blushing brides-to-be day in and day out talking about how fantastic and wonderful their man is and how much he loves her when you're not actually married yourself? Or, more to the point, don't even have a boyfriend and sex seems like a distant memory. Or even worse, married with 3 kids and a divorce on the way. My theory is that these shop assistants make bets the morning before they're about to open on which hideous dress they can sell that day. Why not? I bloody would. So, the morning of my wedding. I'm in a hotel with my sisters and my friends all rushing around and doing stuff. What were they actually doing? Is it a necessity that we must rush on the wedding day? Does time suddenly move faster? It was only 7 a.m. and I'm sure I wasn't getting married until 1 p.m. Or do we just need to make ourselves feel important by pretending to do stuff? After all, it is the most important day of our lives, isn't it? By 10 a.m, I had been scrubbed, fed, styled, and make-upped, and I don't think I even moved. And I was now drinking my first glass of champagne with my plastered smile cracking my plastered face, contemplating what my husband-to-be would look like, bald and fat, and if I would still be able to do the until death do us part thingy if this change took place. Could I not sign an until death do us part unless you become bald and fat contract? Isn't it the same as signing a prenuptial these days? Surely it's the same as any contract. I'll sign it if it suits me, but I'm not signing nothing if there's no get-out-of-jail-free card. Then arrived first the flowers. Lovely as they were, they didn't make me feel any better. Then the photographer. A bloody expensive pain in the ass, if you ask me. I thought I was the one supposed to be bossing people around. Apparently not. She was in charge, and not nobody or anything was going to get in her way. So there I was, about to commit my life to another, standing in the fairy tale dress which my father had nearly had to remortgage to buy, wearing something old, something new, and something blue. All I needed was to wear a little bit of glue just to keep the smile stuck on. I was looking every bit the blushing bride, but inside, feeling every bit like a fake. Could I have made a mistake? If I feel like this before I say I do, what will I feel like after the priest announces, "Now you may kiss the bride"? We'd already had our first kiss, and I certainly wasn't the virgin that the white dress suggested. As I shook myself back to focus on the task ahead, I noticed people were cooing at me and looking at me in a strange way, the kind of way you look at a newborn baby, head to one side, mouth slightly ajar with a strange noise emerging from a slightly opened mouth, and with eyes full of water about to overflow and spill down the cheeks. I tried to block out the faces around me and sounds that seemed to deafen me, but I couldn't get away from the cooing, and I felt my eyes starting to fill. No! Once it started, you can't possibly stop it. It's like trying to stop yourself from peeing when in mid-flow. You might be able to delay the process, but eventually the inevitable will happen. I tried to think about something funny, like when I went down the death slide as a child and scraped my chin all the way down and was pretty much chinless for a good 8 weeks after that. Or the time my older sister tried to sell me on the park one time to a random man for 50p because she was sick of me following her around. Not funny at the time, but had always put a smile on my face later on in life. But this time, it wasn't working, and one single lonely tear slowly rolled down my cheek, leaving a thin, pale path where my makeup had once been. I tried to hide it, but I wasn't quick enough, and I was pounced on by the cooing crew with their, "Oh, chick, don't cry. Look how happy she is." Or, "Come on now, no time for that. You'll ruin your makeup." I think this one was probably my mother, forever Mrs. Practical. But they just couldn't let it be. I would have been fine if they hadn't continued to go on and on about the bloody tear, so much so that they caused the water pipes to suddenly burst. And there was no stopping it, particularly with this clutch of hens surrounding me with the wistful looks and little hugs of, "Come on, girl, this is the happiest day of your life." Or, "You're just a bit nervous, that's all." But I couldn't tell the truth. I couldn't shout out, "I didn't mean to say yes, it just slipped out. What if he goes bald?" So, I eventually reposed myself, dried my eyes and was replastered with makeup, and I glued my smile back on. After all, I did love the man I'd said yes to, didn't I?